introduce yourself?
I'm Frederick Tang. I am a student at Swinburne and I am 20 years old.
So I'm Jonah, currently a year 3 student here, and I'm a student.
Hi, my name's Joseph. I'm 20 this year, and I'm currently studying diploma in business education. Diploma in business management. In Swinburne.
Hello, my name's Ryan. I'm 20 years old and I'm studying media and communication.
So Freddie, as a student, I would like to ask, how do you feel like the education system is treating you so far?
Okay, I would say that Malaysia's education system has been treating me, I would say I'm privileged. I think everyone who can get an education is in some sort of way privileged compared to other people. So I can't complain too much. But there's definitely room for improvement. But I think especially with Sarawak's government taking more of an initiative, I think things will take a turn for the better and improvements should be coming.
I think it's very fair because our education allows anyone to come in and have a higher education to study in a higher education.
Okay, so far I think the education system, at least for me, I think it's done a fairly good job. I feel relatively included in the school's things, and I think so far the lectures have been okay, so I think I've had it pretty good.
So far, to be frank, it is treating me bad because I don't find myself that education provides the needs that I want, which is the freedom to express and the freedom to speak, where all the education is about getting all the grades and survive to the fittest, which I don't think is aligned with my values.
Do you feel like the education right now is important in this day and age?
To be frank, I think most of us here are very uncertain about what we're gonna do when we get our degree, including me. But education is definitely important. It depends on your trade and what you are planning to do for the rest of your life later on. Like, let's say, design.
Okay.
Do you necessarily need to go to college to be better at design? Not necessarily, but the issue is that education makes you more disciplined to do things like that.
I think it's necessary because if you have a certification, it's easier for you to get jobs, let's say office jobs, that kind of stuff. Because nowadays, if you look at the requirement, they always want you to have diploma or degree. So I do think it's important as a backup.
I think education is a thing people should strive for, but at the same time, it isn't something that's absolutely necessary. Like, you should aim to get a diploma at the very least, but if you can't get there, that's perfectly fine. If you don't really need it for your job, that's fine. But I think generally it is better to have one, because then you can kind of negotiate with your jobs, get better pay, get better opportunities, stuff like that.
Okay, I do notice there are some youngsters who drop out and then become influencers, and then I think we have to investigate or understand the purpose of why they have to go to school. Is it worth for them or not? Because we have to understand not everyone's needs education for their life. I mean, we can get knowledge everywhere, but education is an option. So to these young people who drop out in this age, I think education is depending on what kind of career of purpose you want to live for. Yeah.
Right. So third question, do you think that the syllabus these days are helpful for your respective course?
I would say both yes and no. On the one hand, yes, they're teaching us things that we should know about business, how to keep something afloat, stuff like that. But on the other end, there's no real practical application, if that makes any sense.
Majority is helpful, but some I do think maybe it's not applicable to us. Like, let's say, sustainable, that kind of stuff. But it's important, of course, but perhaps it's not useful for everything.
every syllabus in general, I think we should have both theoretical and practical aspects of education.
Of course, I think it's also clever to question things. It's good to question your education system, and it's good to criticize them when needed, because that's how true change can happen. But overall, give the syllabus a chance, try to understand it, why it's important, and if you really don't get it, talk to someone or higher up, send an email or something if you really think it's unnecessary.
Do you think the education system is doing a good job of raising individuals who are intellectual, spiritually guided, and most of all, civilized?
Civilized, yes, because you are meeting people, different kind of people, and they all have higher education system to guide them to think more diplomatically and more rationally.
Intellectual, I would hope so. That's the entire point of it. Yeah.
And in terms of spiritual, I think it's just talk on the surface only. Because when we want to talk about spiritual, we have to have that sense of perceptive thinking, where life is not only about one singular purpose or matter in life. You have to also understand from other people's perspective and in terms of their truth and their reality. Then that is where you can develop that sense of spiritual within you. Yeah.
Alright, so that's it.
So I think that requires sense of openness in to develop all these elements as what you said. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I would hope that, experiences in college would change them. Like, you learn a lot of things by interacting with other people because you're forced into this. It's not necessarily the teaching part that's making people more civilized. It's because you are put into an enclosure with other people your age, with stories, betrayals, friendships, love, etc. That's what makes you more civilized. It's not the education itself having a class on Civilization 101. It's something you learn as a byproduct of education.